Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, Going Places with Abu Micah. So it's been a while since I last did a video. I have recently returned to Canada from Zimbabwe, and I want to share with you how I managed to avoid the mandatory 3-night hotel stopover on my return. Since February 22 of 2021, the government of Canada has been mandating a 3-night hotel stopover at a government authorized hotel, which they advertised at a cost of upwards of like $2,000, although of course the real cost is a lot less than that for travelers coming into Canada. Of course, from the 5th of July, there will be an exemption for fully vaccinated travelers. We'll talk about that later on. But you want to find out more about how, my exemption from this whole thing went, hey, then do stay tuned. Yeah, so the sad news is that I unfortunately lost one of my sisters. She passed away while in Zimbabwe on a holiday, and I had to make immediate plans to travel from Canada for the funeral. The entry requirements for Zimbabwe are pretty simple. All I needed to do was get a negative PCR test result for COVID within 48 hours of my departure. So I did that with Dynalife Labs here in Edmonton. They charged me 150 Canadian dollars for the test and also for the travel certificate. So with that, I landed in Harare, Zimbabwe, and there are no quarantine rules in Zimbabwe. As long as you're negative for COVID, hey, go inside, do whatever you need to do. Now, for returning to Canada, what I had to do was first get a negative PCR test and then book a quarantine hotel for my first 3 nights, right, at any of the 4 ports of entry into Canada. Right now, the only international airports that are open for international arrivals are Montreal Airport, that's Elliott Trudeau Airport, then there's Calgary Airport, then there's Vancouver International Airport, then there's also Toronto Pearson International Airport. So you have to book a 3-night hotel stay at any government authorized hotel in those cities, okay? And that's where you spend your first 3 nights at a cost of, initially they said it would cost $2,000, but the hotels that I found were ranging from like $800 to around $1,500 on the upper end. So you book that hotel, then you book your flight, and of course you have to download the ArriveCAN app, where you input your travel information, your contact information, your quarantine hotel information, and usually that ideally is the last thing that you should do. Okay. So while I was in Zimbabwe, I just thought about whether there were any exemptions, because whenever there are rules, sometimes it helps to look at what exceptions are there to the rules, right? Because I didn't travel for a holiday. It was a very, very difficult time. So I went to the travel website, the travel advisory website of the government of Canada. I'll put the link here for you to check out. And I saw that because I had traveled for compassionate reasons, which was, one of which was to attend a funeral, I could apply for an exemption from the mandatory hotel stopover. Okay, so that would remove the requirement for me to quarantine for the first 3 nights at a hotel that would cost me like $1,000, right? So I downloaded the form. It looks like this, and booked an appointment with the Canadian Embassy in Harare, Zimbabwe. The staff was super friendly, super helpful. They assisted me very well. They helped me to complete the form. They asked for some documentation, of course, to prove my reason for travel. So I had to show them my late sister's death certificate and also prove the relationship. Showed my birth certificate, showed that we've got the same parents. And also I showed them my entry stamp to show that, hey, I entered the country like a week ago. And this is the reason why I traveled. And of course, they wanted to see my return plans for Canada, which I showed them as well. So with that, they signed and attested my document and my declaration, and then I had to scan and apply online for the exemption and wait for 7 to 10 business days. That's what they said. I did get the exemption after 7 days, but in the interim, I just booked a hotel, and just in case I didn't get the exemption by the time I landed at the airport, right? So when I landed at the airport, I landed at Toronto Pearson Airport, went through customs declaration, and then went to immigration. The immigration officer asked for of course, my PR card and my hotel booking and my ArriveCan app receipt. So I showed him the ArriveCan app receipt. I showed him of course, my PR card and passport. But because I had an exemption now, the exemption letter actually came during the last leg of my flight, right? So so I showed them the exemption letter on my phone to say this is the exemption that I just got. So I do have a hotel booking, but I'm gonna have to cancel it because I got the exemption, right? So with that, he directed me to the Public Health Agents of Canada booth, where they just had a look at the letter and noted down some details, and then they put a green stick on my passport. When you arrive in Canada, and especially at this time, they will put a sticker, a color-coded sticker on your passport or travel document to show whether you are leaving the airport to go to a designated hotel or you are leaving the airport to go home. Okay. So because I was exempted from the hotel stopover, I got a green sticker in my passport, and they advised me that I could actually book a flight from Toronto to Edmonton that day without having to wait for for anything for my arrival test result. But however, I did opt to spend like 2 nights in Toronto, waiting for the negative PCR test result. But of course, it didn't cost me $1,000, right? It cost me like 180 or so, because it was not a government authorized hotel. So you will find, of course, that some of the hotels have got regular rates and then what they call GAA rates. So whenever you have to book a government authorized hotel, make sure you're booking using the correct rate plan, okay? The correct code, you're using the correct reservation code. I mean, there are different, if you just go on, I'll just share the link here, you'll see how you have to make the reservation so that it's reserved properly. So with that, I got the exemption. I picked up my bags, and then I waited in line for about 2 hours for the arrival COVID-19 test, after which I just went to a local hotel in Toronto and spent 2 nights there, and then booked my flight to Edmonton. So that's how it went. If you are traveling into Canada for compassionate reasons, you can apply for an exemption from the quarantine, because who wants to spend 14 days in isolation when you've come to take care of someone who's terminally ill, or you've come to attend a funeral? So you're coming to attend a funeral in Canada, you can get that exemption. If you are leaving Canada to attend a funeral, especially of a loved one, of a close family member, again, you can apply for an exemption. If you are leaving Canada to go and take care of someone who's terminally ill, again, you can apply for an exemption. I will list some of the other exemptions over here for you to have a look at. So that's basically how it went, guys. Of course, from the 5th of July, there will be exemptions from the whole 14-day quarantine for fully vaccinated travelers. Of course, you have to be vaccinated with any of the approved vaccines by Health Canada, which are the Pfizer BioNTech, the Moderna vaccine. So you have to have received both doses of those vaccines. Third one is the AstraZeneca vaccine. Again, you have to have received both doses. And then the fourth one is the Janssen by Johnson & Johnson. That one, with just one dose, you're fully vaccinated, and you're allowed to enter Canada if you are exempt from the travel restrictions. Okay, so that's what's changing on July 5th. And yeah, but otherwise, if you are not, fully vaccinated and you do want an exemption from at least the 3-day hotel stopover, then you can, apply for an exemption from the hotel stopover. Okay, so hope this has been useful information. I mean, I learned it while I traveled. If you do have any questions about it, feel free to drop them in the comments below. I will try to respond as to the best of my knowledge. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would appreciate it if you subscribed, turn on notifications so that you don't miss out on my next video. See you guys.